Hello, I am Daisy, and today we're going to learn to understand the symbols on the major arcana, the Emperor, and also give you a little sneak peek on how this would sound in a reading right side up and reversed. So you're joining me here on my channel, my playlist, Learn Tarot. So let's get started. We just spoke with the Fool, and the Fool was on his journey, and he had a great time when he was visiting the Empress. Learned a lot about life and how to live life here in the moment and all the abundance that life has to offer, and to stop really and enjoy all those things that life has to offer to all of us. So he's walking on his journey, and he's really feeling really excited and all full of hope on his way towards what? Enlightenment. And that's where he's heading off to. So on his journey, now who does he come across? Our mighty, mighty Emperor. So we're going to look at some aspects of numerology. We're going to kind of discuss a little bit of the astrological aspect, and then we're going to just jump into the symbols. So right off the bat, we're looking at the number 4. Oh, and I did want to share with you how important it is to make sure that you're studying your decks, and don't go by everything that you're hearing from me. Follow your intuition. Look at the different decks. There's many decks have different illustrations so that they're not all the same, so you will have different things to pull from. So this one is from the Sun and Moon Tarot. So that's a whole different illustration of the Emperor himself. And of course, the one that I have here is the Rider-Waite deck, the standard, which is my go-to. And I have a very similar version, but there's still some differences. And this is from my professional edition, the Universal Tarot. So you could tell subtle differences, like just by looking at the robe, right? Okay, so let's go on. So when we're looking at the number 4, we're seeing the number 4 vibration is about responsibility, about hard work. It's about order and management. So those are some of the qualities that the number 4 is bringing to this reading. So immediately you have something to draw just by looking at the number of this card, the energy of the card. And it is emphasized, that energy is emphasized here in these depictions of the 4 rams. So that's again emphasized there, but we're not going to go there right away. We're going to discuss also now the association that the Emperor has with the zodiac. So this is where I'm going to kind of share with you. You'll kind of have to kind of play this by ear, because one author says, well, the Emperor is associated with Aries. Of course, Aries is a fire sign. I kind of look at all of this, unless his personality is a fiery disposition, I have, that's kind of my reservations with that. But then there's another author says, well, he's associated with the water sign Cancer, because Cancer is the 4th sign in the zodiac wheel. So what are some of the qualities of Cancer? Well, it's associated with loyalty and intuition and high values of family. So maybe the sense of, having, this sense of responsibility over his kingdom and his people. That could be. But like I said, follow your intuition. You may see the different issues with the other cards that are associated with this when you have it with other cards. So just wanted to share that I've seen that little situation. So, and if somebody's asking you for timing, depending on, again, what are you going to go with, the Aries element, or are you going to go with the Cancer, because that will flip the timeline for you, where you have a timeline that's March and April. Well, if it's a Cancer, now you're going to deal with the timeline of June and July. See what I mean? Okay, so now let's take a look at some of the other elements. And right from the beginning, one of the things that we see here is this Ankh. So when we're seeing the Ankh, we're seeing this kind of a sense of authority about caring for life. And again, that kind of does kind of repeat the theme for the Cancer, caring for the family, caring for his kingdom, caring for people. And the Ankh is an Egyptian symbol of life. So he has a very strong responsibility regarding the direction of his life, direction of purpose. So that is explained in this card. The other thing that we see here, which is really different, because when you're looking at the Rider-Waite deck, what we see here is that he does have an apple or a golden globe of sort in his right hand. And this is a symbol of power and authority over earth. So if that's the globe that he's holding, he's showing, I have power over the earth. And because it's gold, it is of divine origin. It is part of that karmic destiny that this person is in this position in his life. So I'm trying to see, okay, so here in this other deck, you could see that he's also holding something in his right hand. Interesting that in this deck, he does not have that. There is a sense of reservation. And you're saying, well, Daisy, why are you saying a sense of reservation? Well, he does not have his palm up. He has his palm down, kind of not showing the complete hand on how he's ruling. So that's interesting. So that's just me with my imagery. And that's kind of to share with you how important for you to look at the different symbols and see what you're going to draw, and help your querent along the way if that is something that they're pulling back on something. Okay, so the other thing that we can see here is the most obvious, of course, is his crown. So he has that crown in here, which again confirms this authority, and that he is a natural born leader. It sits really well on him. It's not going to fall off. It's just snuggled up there just perfect. And when we look at the other deck, the same way, it really falls on his head just perfect. Okay, the other thing that we see here is the throne. A very, very firm throne. Looks like it's even made out of concrete. So it's very earthy. So that's what we see there. So with this, we see the four rams that are depicted on this throne as well, which are symbols of masculinity, confirming this very masculine nature, which is so different from the Empress. All this robust fertility and sensuality, you know, all this femininity vibe that we had here. This is totally different. Here we're going all masculine, all into this. And you also get a sense with this throne being gray, which is gray in this deck as well, a sense of that he is fair in his leadership, in his kingdom. It's a neutral color. It's interesting because in this deck we don't see that, but because we don't see the flamboyancy of the garment, we do see that it is a red throne, and so there's a sense of power again because of the color red. And so going to that, like here, it is the red throne, and it's about power and passion. He is passionate about what he does. He is passionate about helping his people in his kingdom. And so we see that. So then it's interesting because here we don't see the color red. We see the color green of abundance, of this financial stability. And then we see what I take it as the color purple, which is about this divine guidance and this earthly power and spiritual guidance that he has through the energy of the color purple. Okay, so now what are some of the other things that we have here? The thing that I see clearly that shines up to me, different on each deck here, is that under this power, he is also protected. So if you could see, he has this metal suit underneath, this armor. And to me, that also means that this person just doesn't sit there, pulling his weight with the power. This person will get out there and get involved and will fight and defend if it is needed. He is ready for battle today, right now. So I'm trying to look at this other deck, and I'm trying to see if it's a more casual. I do not see an armor, but I do see the shield, which we do not have a shield in these other ones. For me, it means that he is ready for battle too, and he's ready for transformation, because those look like some type of phoenix for me. Could be dragons. Well, we'll see. Okay, so these are the other things. And remember, we talked about that through the major arcana, one of the things that we're going to notice is that there's an element of water, that there is emotion moving through, that there is this sense of purpose as we're trying to move eagerly towards, not forgetting that we have a mission, that we've got an end goal, which is this enlightenment. So we see the river running here in both these decks, and I do not see it in this deck. So it's interesting. So it's important to look at these elements. But what I do see in this deck, I do see the lamb and dragonflies. So we see this innocence, you know, the lamb here, which is a very spiritual connection, you know, the Lamb of God and things like that, and then that radiant sun. So this king is one that is very spiritual. Okay, so now how would we read this should it show up upright in a reading? Well, this is about talking about authority. This is about, you know, saying this is a time for structure. Maybe there's a father figure in your life right now, or someone of authority that is trying to help you. And this is about stepping up with your leadership skills, and that there is dedication and hard work, because there are challenges to overcome as we see these mountains here behind us. And also that we can see that if we continue with this order, with this organization, that we will be able to get to our goals and reach those achievements that we want, and that it is time to take charge. This is time for you to lead and to be fair in the things that you are presenting to your family, to your community, to the people that you work with. And it is also a very great card to say, well, you know, be an example for others. Be an example for others. So then we take this, and then if it shows up in the reverse in a reading, then this is about a warning to not be tyrannical, to not be overpowering, to make sure that you show some flexibility, because maybe right now this person here is being inflexible, and there's excessive control, and there's lack of discipline here, because there is no order, there is no structure. And this person just wants to dominate and just go overboard on that, instead of being fair, like we know here that is depicted in this calm, stern, yet fair example in this pose of the king. So our friend, the fool, is going to continue on the journey. And where is he going to go? He is going to meet up with the Hierophant. Sooner or later, we're going to need to get that spiritual advice. Let's find out more about the Hierophant in the next video.